Chinese President Xi Jinping appointed Wang Houbin as head of the PLA Rocket Troop, tasked with overseeing Beijing's nuclear and conventional missile development. Wang replaced Li Yuchao, who was not said to have been transferred or where he was. There has been speculation that Li's removal was allegedly because he was under investigation for political matters. Why did China change nuclear weapons officials? Reported by the South China Morning Post, SCMP, a Chinese defense analyst said Beijing's military is focusing its nuclear program on quality over quantity in terms of warheads. The assessment is based on the release of the Japanese Defense Ministry's white paper released last week. The report said China could double its arsenal to 1,500 warheads by 2035. This is in line with the prediction of the United States Ministry of Defense alias the Pentagon last October. China is extensively and rapidly increasing its military capabilities both qualitatively and quantitatively, focusing on its naval and air forces as well as its nuclear and missile forces, the Japanese Ministry of Defense white paper said. Tokyo estimates the People's Liberation Army, PLA, had 350 nuclear warheads last year. Meanwhile, the report by the Federation of Nuclear Information Projects of American scientists estimates that Beijing has about 410 nuclear warheads, even more in terms of production. However, Zhou Chenming, researcher at the Yuan Wang Science and Technology think tank in Beijing, said China was maximizing nuclear deterrence, considering its national policies. Nuclear deterrence refers to preparations to use nuclear weapons as a means of preventing an adversary from launching a nuclear attack in advance. Zhou said since the 1950s, Beijing had invested tremendous resources in maximizing nuclear deterrence, including in terms of precise strike technology, penetration capabilities, and destruction capabilities. He added that China had pledged to maintain a "no first" policy of others, and that its existing nuclear warheads were sufficient to reach 90% of major defense industrial centers and major enterprises in the southwest. Zhou said Japan's prediction of Beijing's 350 warheads referred to a ready-to-use nuclear weapon that could be mounted on an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, body. This gives China the long-range strike capability to launch it anywhere in the U.S. Song Junping, a former PLA instructor, said China's strategy is completely different from that of the West. The West, he said, sees that the West has many warheads as a strength, while China focuses on quality as well as quantity. Chinese President Xi Jinping, in his work report during the Communist Party's National Congress last year, had outlined Beijing's goal of building a strong strategic deterrence system over the next 5 years. The plan is widely seen as a reference to improving Beijing's nuclear arsenal and technology. Along with this, Song said China's increased nuclear development will not be the same as that of countries such as the US and Russia during the Cold War. It doesn't mean China will follow US and Russian counterparts in upgrading its nuclear warheads as the outside world imagines, Song said. What Japan and the US are worried about is whether China will follow Washington to develop low-yield nuclear weapons as a countermeasure to meet the challenge posed by America, he said. According to estimates by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Russia has 5,977 nuclear warheads while the US has 5,428 of these. Meanwhile, low-power nuclear warheads are weapons that are usually used for precision strikes, not for the purpose of causing heavy casualties. In 2021, the U.S. Congressional Budget Office estimates Washington will spend $634 billion, equivalent to Rp. 9.5 quadrillion, over the next 10 years to upgrade its nuclear arsenal. This number is up 28% from the projection of the previous 10 years. These funds include development of a new low-yield W-76-2 nuclear warhead for submarine-launched ballistic missiles as well as development of a submarine-launched nuclear cruise missile. Meanwhile, a Pentagon report said the PLA is likely to develop the DF-26 intermediate ballistic missile to field low-yield warheads in the near future. The DF-26 missile has a range of 4,000 kilometers and can be used in both nuclear and conventional strikes against land and sea targets, such as the U.S. naval base on Guam. Zhou and Song agreed it was possible the PLA was using the DF-26 missile as a platform for a tactical nuclear weapon. But they stressed that Beijing would only do so if it was attacked first. China still adheres to the non-preemptive policy of nuclear weapons including tactical nuclear bombs, Song said. He continued, however, the PLA will definitely strike back in retaliation if the US dares to use it against the Chinese military.